2 and 3 volts will run those things. A pen light battery a lot of times. And I've messed around with a lot of those little electrodes. And yeah, the 10 volts is probably on 9 or 10 is probably on the top of the scale. But messing with that bias voltage will adjust the tone of the mic somewhat too. So something else to play with. But it sounds very nice. That's why I asked you what rig you're on, because it's it really cleaned up the audio, and it's definitely a keeper in my opinion. W2SDR.
W1IA. I'll see if I got it.
Heard exactly what you described when I first tried running this with the Behringer. You know, when I put the bias voltage on, it was making funny noises and a lot of broadband hiss. I thought, this is probably too much voltage, because I'd already read that the specs for operating instructions said, 5 to 10 volts of phantom power. And I said, I think it'll probably even work better on 48. You're not going to probably hurt it. And so it locked up the diaphragm. It was just too much. But when I turned the bias voltage switch off on the Behringer, because it's such a high impedance, and I could actually, even though the power switch was off, there was still charge on the capacitor of the phantom power circuit, and as the voltage coasted down, that's the mic sprang to life, and I heard that exact, hey, that sweet spot effect come, I went right through it as the thing gradually discharged. So I might try putting a little pot in there and see if I can, tweak around with it, maybe even try a little bit more voltage too, just put a little pot in there to move things around and see how it plays. But for the time being, I'm pretty happy with where it is now. It's probably about 9 volts, and I'm curious to see how long the battery, if I just leave it in service across the circuit, I don't know how long it's going to take to discharge it, but I haven't had any problems yet. I'm going to periodically look at the voltage on the battery and see how much I still got left in it. And if it looks like it's going to go pretty fast, I'll just throw a little switch in there. Hey Perry, how's so the noise has stayed away? I guess it better stay away after the way the deal went down. My guess was as a kid ended up with the 55.
Yeah, is it that BM800?
Chris, AJ1G, W3MMR. Well, it stayed away.
This is what I'm on now. Let me see. Make sure I got it.
I'm not going to be happy, number one. Number two, I'm just going to go to the next step and, contact ARRL, FCC, and I've gone far and above anything that I really should have. I was very nice, very cordial about everything, and it's just unfortunate that people can be that way, but I don't care as long as the noise doesn't come back. I wasn't in this for what I was getting out of it as far as the television. I was spending the money to get rid of the noise. But it's just I guess the part that aggravates me the most is I thinking that I'm that stupid that I wouldn't realize it. But I guess that's the more aggravating part. But as long as the noise doesn't come back, I don't care. It's not there now. My noise level is nice and low for here. It's about an S9. And no buzzing, nothing in the background, no crazy spikes on the pan adapter or anything like that. So, but everybody's coming in real well, Chris, and the Central Electronics sounds good. It sounds different than, I guess, was it yesterday morning I talked to you? I guess you've done some adjusting with it. I think it sounds really good. Super clean. Definitely doesn't sound like the 20A used to sound. Sounds like a new rig. So good on you for that. And you're about 25 to 30 over here this morning as well, Chris. Brent, same signal report, and same with you, Pop. You're about 30 to 35 over here this morning. Everybody's sounding real good. Just sipping on the mud, staring at my fish in my fish tank. W3MMR.
You know what stunk this morning? I got to turn on the coffee maker. It died. I dragged out my old percolator. Plugged that in. I don't know why I got away from that. Shit, perk coffee tastes so good.
It's 8 O'Clock Coffee Company is the name of the coffee, or the coffee company. It's a maple bourbon coffee, and it's got a real super sweet smell to it when you open the bag. So it's almost like, oh man, whew, it's way too much, but it equals out when you make a cup. And I usually just make enough to make one cup at a time, so I don't waste any. But tell you what, this stuff is good, and I like, people are gonna make fun of me, but I like the hazelnut creamer. So I put a little bit of hazelnut creamer in it. You don't need much, and that stuff's got so much sugar in it as it is. You don't need to put sugar in it at all. So just a few pumps of that hazelnut coffee mate into it, and to me it's perfecto.
My wife mentioned the conclusion. I like 8 O'Clock coffee. I like Dunkin's, but it's not. It used to be better. You remember back in the 80s, they went through a period, I swear to God, it was the worst tasting crap. It went on for about 6 months. I think there was a problem with the coffee suppliers. And that stuff tasted like piss water. Oh my God. It's like they used the beans up and then they sold them. Let's take all the caffeine out of this stuff and then sell it. And you ended up with this piss weak coffee, and it was all their chains. Do you guys remember that?
Yeah, not too much, but let me make sure I got AJ1G. Yeah, Perry, I don't know if you heard, but this is a new microphone. This is a Staples podcast series, on-air podcast series, carbon mic, or not carbon. Hardly a carbon. It's a condenser mic. It's one of those Chinese knockoffs of which I'm sure are made in China. Also, the Behringer B1. They're selling them now. They just came out with this line of podcast gear at Staples, and they have dynamic mics. They've got this condenser mic, studio condenser mic booms, twin screens, gimbal. Servo control mounts to put your iPhone on, to use it as the camera for your podcast, all sorts of stuff, and it's all very, very reasonably priced. And the mic was $39.95.
I remember he saying something about that, Chris. What the hell is that? My hamster in the other room is going crazy. Yes, I have a hamster.
I hate hamsters.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, I guess what do they have, like a whole podcasting section there at Staples now? I heard you saying something about it yesterday at Staples. I wasn't too sure if that's that's where you got the microphone from. I knew that you were on a different microphone. I heard that, but I didn't know you got it at Staples. W3MMR.
W2SDR. So yeah, guys, we're going to move down. Oops, wait a second. Whiskey Charlie 4 Delta. I'm going to move down to bed. We'll catch you guys a little bit later. W2.
Charlie 4 break-in. Good morning.
Good morning. Barry, you're still sticking around? Boy, I was going to tell you how good you and your dad sound this morning.
Yeah, Dad, I'm sticking around. I ain't going nowhere. The old man, I think he's gone down the band to a side band group, but I ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, Perry, AJ1G. Yeah, I don't think we've actually the new microphone. Yeah, they have they just brought this line out. It's not even in their online stuff. If you search for it online, I haven't seen it yet. It's in the stores though. I bought the microphone over here in Westerly when I came across it the other night, and then I got a boom for it and a windscreen in Old Saybrook a couple days later.
know, Chris. Well, it sounds good. And, I mean, with technology nowadays, I mean, these electric mics can sound really good. These electric elements. I have a $5 electric mic I got from eBay. You know, it's this little plastic thing about the size of my hand, a plastic body to it. And the thing sounds, it feels like it came with a karaoke machine from Toys R Us. Okay? And I think those are better quality than this thing, as far as the case goes, or the, you know, the body of it goes. But I paid like $6, $5 or $6 for it, and I think EQ'd right to think it sounded as good as this microphone. This SM7B is $400 microphone, and I paid $5 for it. You know, so don't count them electrics out, man. They can sound really good. And what I guess I think you're saying it has like a gold windscreen on it and stuff like that, and so I imagine I've seen some other microphones, you know, that look similar there. So. Good morning to you, Don. WC4D sounding good. We'll swing it over to you. And you got a good signal up here coming out of Kentucky this morning. WC4D in the group with AJ1G, and I think Brent, W1IA, and I know W2SDR scooted on out of here. So see you, Brent, if you are getting out of here. And down to you, Don. WC4D from W3MMR.
Good morning. Good morning to you, sir. Good morning, Chris. Boy, yesterday it was just horrendous for me here. I had power line noise. It was just absolutely just crazy. I couldn't hear Chris yesterday at all, and just barely could tell he was in there. And this morning I'm copying him Q5, so he's good. You're really good this morning. You're about 30 over this morning. Got some fades and stuff, but that's just the band, not you. And thinking about my buddy Kevin this morning going under the knife. I know he's a bungle of nerves, I'm sure, and we all are. You know, ain't nobody can say they don't get a little antsy when it comes time to have to go in there and roll in there, knowing that they're going to cut on you and all that. I don't know. I've always had like I said, I've had 2 knee replacements and a hip replacement, and I've had a pretty good calm about it because I thought, you know, if it's my time to go, it's going to be my time to go, so I really didn't worry about it. So, I really did. I slept really good the night before and everything else, and I had a pretty good calm about me. I like that first little shot they give you before they take you back there and kind of calms you down and stuff. My wife said that's the time if she wants to know anything that I've done in the last year or so. I'll spill the beans about everything. I guess that's like a truth serum they give you, whatever it is. But you get to talking after they give you that shot. And when I have my knee replacement, they give me a shot like in your spine, and then everything else. It's pretty weird. I don't know what all the stuff was that they did for you, but it's quite an ordeal. But everybody's scared to death to have knee replacement. And you know, the surgery itself is not really all that much. The rehab is really the tough part of it, stretching all them tendons and stuff and getting that knee bending right again. Somebody tried to tell me not too long ago that, they knew this old man, he was 70-something years old, and he'd had both his knees done at the same time, and I've heard that being done before. And they said 3 days later, he was up walking around and everything else, and didn't even go to physical therapy. I call complete BS on that. There's no way that your knees are so swollen after surgery. He might have had some kind of knee surgery, but he didn't have knee replacement. Because there's no way. Your knees be so swelled up, and you couldn't bend your knees. You couldn't get out of bed. There's no way. It's just ridiculous. He said, oh, yeah, he had knee replacement. No way. I'm telling you. I've been through it. You know, if you've done something, you pretty much, might not be an expert on it, but you got a lot better opinion what's going to be about it than somebody don't. I'll tell you what, that Chris, he's the guy that knows about amp microphones. I bought one of them boom mics and had the cable and had a microphone on it. The guy was selling reason on eBay, and I think there were 50 mics. It's even got the little pop shield for it.
Yeah, not too bright.
And that was a pretty good price for that. So that's what I'm talking on right now. I've got a Heil 780 microphone, and I got another Heil one. N4EDQ or whatever it is, one of them.
Sounds like Channel 19.
Down in the door down there.
What the hell?
Into this big audio thing and using that Julian stuff. The little
Dummy lower.
whatever Julius has got over there. I was going to get some of that stuff, and I thought, why don't I just spend $1,000 to sound better for somebody when I can't hear it myself? And like I said, I'm no audio guy. I've got a Behringer mixer that I use for listening on radios and stuff. I can't hardly stand to listen to an R390A. Just the sound of it absolutely drives me nuts. So I run the sound out of that into an amplifier that I have, a Heathkit amp, into a mixer, an EQ, just to make it sound better, because I cannot stand just listen to a regular R390. Now, I've got a 183D I like, and, you know, I see that you got the 303. I've got a 300, and I bought it, and it was already been recapped and everything else. I didn't have to do anything to it. And I keep thinking I'm going to put it in line and listen to it. I've not had it on for more than 10 minutes since I bought it at show last year. So how do you like your 303? I seems like you use it quite a bit. Is that pretty good one for you, Chris? You can answer on that one. And I'll turn it back over to you.
Idiot.
Rattling on. AJ1G. Good morning, Chris.
November 4, Echo Delta.
Yeah, I got some tuner uppers and the 4-lane broke in. I just want to make a quick comment, make sure I got it. Don, I don't know if we've worked before, W1IA Brent up in New Hampshire. And looking at your QRZ page, nice 610, and boy, you got a lot of beautiful boat anchors. I'm running a homebrew H-modulated E-rig into a 2-element phased array, wire beam, pointed southwest. So anyway, nice to hear you as another 4-land station and some disgruntled person that's tuning up and throwing crap on the band, which is completely unusual. So why don't the N4 that broke in pick it up, and I'm going to stand by W1IA.
Yeah, W1IA, N4EDQ. Yeah, I heard some kind of a strange noise on there for a minute. I almost thought my receiver was going crazy. Good morning, Brent. Good morning, Chris. And I'll say good morning, John. I didn't get John's call signs. This is Henry down here in Blue Ridge, Georgia. Turned the rig on about a half hour ago, 45 minutes or so. Getting to warm up. I'm on a 101EE E104 mic and the SL2100D amplifier into a double bazooka at about 55 feet. I'm looking at your website or your QRZ there, Brent. It's very impressive. Nice looking boat anchors. I like that. And I think we spoke before. I'm going to turn it over to John. I don't have John's call sign, and I didn't mean to interrupt you guys. I heard you on there about 5 minutes. Didn't want to jump in. I think some of the other guys might be coming in here also, and I believe Kevin is having a surgery today, K0VUW. Anyway, John, pick it up if you're listening, if you can copy me. This is N4EDQ in Blue Ridge, Georgia.
W3MMR.
Yeah, W3MMR. And the gang, the AM gang, the early AM gang, AJ1G. Okay, very good, sir. Yeah, the only place, if you want to see this exact mic, I'm pretty sure it's the exact mic. It's made by a company called Tizumi, T-Z-U-M-I. They have a web page and they sell mainly all sort of, cheap consumer stuff, electronics stuff, like the plastic karaoke mics. They got a ton of them on their website. But they show this one, and they show it on their website as kind of like a gaming, high-quality gaming condenser microphone for $59.95. And it's got to be the same mic. And I think when you buy it from Staples, you get it has a standard 3-pin XLR receptacle on the end of the mic, and it comes with two very nice cables actually. One is a XLR to stereo 3.5 millimeter plug, and then an XLR to USB plug. It's basically designed for computer use. And that's why apparently the phantom power is limited to 10 volts, but that's easily JS'd with a battery and a couple of resistors like I made up. And it's a pretty nice little mic, but like I said, they're asking $60 on the Tizumi website. I have not seen it anywhere else. I haven't really searched too far. But hey, $39.95 at Staples. They must have bought a ton of them from them. And like I said, they haven't shown up in Staples online site, but apparently I imagine they will. One of the things I did do is I told the tech rep guys at the local Staples that I'm foreseeing people buying these things for what I did and bringing them back saying they don't work because they'll try to hook them up to a board with 48 volts and phantom power, and it's just not going to work right. But I forewarned them about that, and maybe people can realize that. And, a lot of people might just give them back, or a smart person be able to overcome it the same way I did. Anyway, good morning to you, Don. Don, you had some really nice web pages, some really cool stuff. N4EDQ, I think they're commenting on my web page. I got to update that. That 98 Volvo cross country. That was the first year they made the cross country. Actually, that's a very early one. That's probably a taxi in Turkmenistan or razor blades by now. I got to update that for our new Volvo. 2017 XC60. We've had it about almost a year now. And then my Tacoma 4x4. That's what I run Mobile in now. But that old XC60 dropped the valve at $217,000 and was replaced with the Tacoma. And I think they only give me $500 in trade, but considering it needed a couple $1,000 of engine work. It wasn't too bad, but it was a shame though, because the car was, other than that drop valve, the car was like brand new when I got rid of it at 214,000 miles. Really liked it. I got away from that. I was mounting if you see the picture, I was mounting ham sticks on a pedestal, a Thule bike rack pedestal, and that got to be a lot of complications with matching that because of the significant amount of, what looked like an antenna there below the feed point. And I abandoned that arrangement eventually and put the antennas on the roof where I put them now on the newer Volvo, the left rear corner of the roof. Puts them up high, but they're still street legal with a ham stick. And then on the Tacoma, I put it on an L bracket just inside the left rear corner of the bed, right in front of the tailgate, with the feed point at the top of the fender there. And that plays extremely well. I also get like 4 dB of forward directivity. In other words, if I point the truck towards where I'm working, the signals are repeatedly, and at least on short haul, here in New England, 4 dB higher off the front of the truck than the back of the truck. I also saw yesterday I worked VK6 APZ down on 3790 on a log path, and I was pointing southeast, and then someone else in New Hampshire worked on K0VUW, and he told Peter he was coming in beaming northeast, and sure enough, I pointed the truck northeast, and his signal came way up. So the truck actually has a notable directivity to it, Mobile, even on 75 meters. Let's see, Whiskey. I'm going to turn it over to Gary. WD4NKA. I haven't heard you yet, but Perry has. Hopefully I'll hear you too. WD4NKA, AJ1G. AJ1G, WD4NKA. It's not the best of paths between New England and Central Florida right now. You're kind of up and down. I wasn't quite catching the thread of what you were talking about. I was hearing several words. I did hear that you worked sounded like a DX station, 37 something or other, which reminded me to go and take this thing on CW and take it down on 36 something or other and to see what I can pick up on CW. I'm mostly a 40 meter heavy person. I haven't done 80 meters in a long time. But speaking of CW, I would like W1IA. What a neat call for CW that would be. Oh my gosh, I thought mine was good. But it is not. Love to have that call. W1IA sounds real good down here. I understand he's running a wire beam that's aiming south and west, and we're probably a little west or south to him. Good morning. I think I mentioned at the top, it sounds like we're running an identical station. It's only I'm not running out of FD101E. It's an EX, but it is a D104 microphone. And the 3001 instead of the 2100. But my understanding is they're the same amp, basically, or at least rudimentarily so. Anyway, good morning, Don. You sound good down here. And I'm guessing, is Kevin going in for his surgery this morning, or is it this evening? Or I know it's sometime today, Friday, so lifting him before the throne of grace. I know there's a little bit of anxiousness there. Anytime anybody takes the knife, I'm in sort of a medical field myself, so on that goes. And Perry sound good down here too. That's really all I have to say for this morning. And looking at the temperature, the amplifier's still below 85 degrees. It's been checked down for about a minute, so I guess that's not too bad. Very good. Take it to W3MMR. Hopefully, I'm hoping that your television saga is somewhat coming near the end there. Anyway, W3MMR in the group. This is Whiskey Delta 4. Never kiss alligators, which is sage advice.
Good morning to you, Gary. I just jump in here and take a break, but thanks for the report. And what a great signal from Florida and Don, very strong, and Henry. Yeah, Brent up here in Derry. Yeah, geez, I'm trying to see the last time we spoke, Gary, was in December 22nd of 19, just before Christmas. And Don, I don't think we've ever worked before. So I'm checking the logbook, and I know I've spoken with Henry as far back as 2018. So yeah, I got a whole bunch of things going on, but the 2-element wire beam was put up this past fall and working better than the original one due to the Christman phasing technique and moving the phasing control. But on the H modulator into the E-rig, 400 watts is about the story here. So I'm going to take a standby. I'm not sure who gets it next. I apologize. I'm intently listening. Everybody sounded great this morning. W1IA.
Yeah, Brad, just jump in there like you own the place. Jeez. I'm just kidding. We'll talk to you in a bit, Brent. Sounding great down here. Huge signal from Derry. W3MMR. Well, good morning, Gary. Good morning, Henry. Good morning, Don. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Chris and Brent. Everyone's sounding great here locally this morning with no noise. No noise. No interference from my neighbor. I swear, if that noise comes back, I'm going to lose my mind. Anyway, I got a few comments. I'll try to keep it short. We know I can get buzzardy, so let's try to start it up here. Okay, number one. Noise level, like I said, Don, is fine. Yes, Kevin's surgery is today. Gary, He is going under the knife this morning. I don't know exactly what time, but his surgery is today. So later, I wished him good luck last night before I went to sleep, and he was probably already in bed. Haven't heard back from him yet, so he's probably tied up, but I'm going to send him well wishes later on this afternoon. Real good on the knee replacement, Don. Knee and hip replacement. Good Lord. My father had his knee replaced, I guess it was a little over a year ago now. And he said the exact same thing as you. The surgery wasn't bad, but the rehab was the worst part. That he had the knee bending machine at the house. I mean, his knee was huge. Oh my God, was it big? I mean, it was like the size of a watermelon. And having to, keep it, like you said, move the tendons and stretch everything out. He said that was the most painful part. And his doctor said, with the pain meds, obviously nowadays with the opioids, you want to be careful with abusing them and stuff like that. But the doc told him, he's like, look, he said, take as many as you need to get through the rehab, because that's the important part. You don't do the rehab, it'll never be right. And now it's 100% healed. Before he could barely walk, up and down the steps without pain. Always had pain in his knee. Now he's going out for 10-mile walks every day. Walking extreme distances compared to what he used to walk, okay, with zero pain. He said his knee hasn't felt this good since he was a kid. So they really know what they're doing, and as long as you do the rehab right, you'll have good results. As far as the 303 goes, Don, I love my 303. I got my 303 off Craigslist. I was just scanning Craigslist ads, and there it was. There was a Johnson Invader and a 303 the guy had for sale. And apparently this guy travels around the Northeast here selling. He sells tubes. And the guy was kind of a dick, to be honest with you. So I go over there, and this thing it looked like it was in pretty rough shape. And so I was supposed to buy the Johnson Invader, and I got there, and the Johnson Invader was in really rough shape and looked a lot worse in the pictures, and so was the 303. So I told him I just wanted the 303. So he got all mad at me and pissed off and jacked the price up on the 303. I didn't want because I didn't want the Invader, but I still ended up getting a good deal on it. I was supposed to get both for $150. Ended up paying, I think, $175 or $200 for the 303. Took it home, fired. I cleaned up the cabinet, refinished the cabinet on it, cleaned the front plate, took all the knobs off because they get that white buildup on the knobs, from the oxidation. It's like a wax. Cleaned up all the knobs, and then fired the thing up. And it hasn't been recapped. It's got mostly all original tubes in it. And the thing had very, very little use. It had just been sitting for a long time. It's never, like I said, never been recapped. And this thing is the only thing wrong with it is the dial cord for the band, for the frequency drum is broken. So I have to, if I ever switch bands, which I never normally do, I just got to lift the lid up and change and turn the drum, because it's a real pain to fix. So I'm not even going to attempt it until I really want to. I got dial cord, but we're saving that for another time. But anyway, that thing works great. It's dead on frequency on 40, 160, and 80, where I've tried it at. And on 20, excuse me. It's dead on frequency on 20. Once the thing warms up, I can listen to a sideband QSO for an hour without it drifting a bit. And the thing is, then it sounds amazing. It sounds so good on AM. And I found a matching NTS2 speaker for it that I restored with a brand new speaker, refinished the cabin in it. And I have the output, just a speaker jack in the back. The speaker terminal is going to a little Class D audio amplifier, which then goes to a pair of subs. I had 6-inch subwoofers underneath the desk. And then it goes into the NTS2 speaker. So I have a little bit of bass and treble adjustment, and the little bit of extra bottom end from the woofer really helps. So without having to pick off the detector or off the audio gain pot and do all that, it really helps out with the audio. But either way, it sounds good. But I love that 303. It's my go-to boat anchor receiver. And Henry, good morning to you. Sounding good up here on the 101 EE. About 15 over. Everybody's 15 over plus here this morning. So that's my old buzzer for the morning. So down to you, Don. WC4D from W3MMR.
W3MMR, WC4D. All right, good news. Well, a buddy of mine, K0VUW, Doug, I'm sure you might have heard him over the years. He's been on for a long time, but he's been inactive for the last couple of years, and no reason why, but he just is. So, anyway, he said that his 303 was probably one of the best receivers he ever owned. He liked that, and he had a 75A3. And he said that was the other radio that he truly loved. Between them two, was probably the best receivers. And, Lord, I've gone through a bunch of them. Well, I have a bunch still and went through a bunch. And, yeah, I like them all. Some of them I just like the way they look. I don't care, you know. I don't hardly ever use them. I like the HO60 I have and the HO50. They both sound good. They play good. I just don't ever use them. It's just, I don't have anything in line with them. So, you know, sometimes at night I'll turn on the 60 or the 50 and listen to 75 on it, or sometimes I might tune them into some sideband stations and listen, but I've not ever had any translators hooked up, paired up with them. I'm getting ready. I'm thinking about pairing up my, I have a Johnson Viking too, and I watched that Vax Lab guy, he was hooked up using a dial key on there, and he has a little thing using a NC300 and a Johnson Viking. I thought, well, that looks simple enough to do, so I might just go ahead and hook them two up if I get ambitious this weekend. Kevin's surgery this morning is at 7:30. I've got a doctor's appointment at the same hospital at 9 o'clock. And I thought about going over and checking on him first, and it's not supposed to take it very long for his surgery, so he might be out and gone before I ever get over to my doctor's appointment. But yeah, we both have an appointment at the same time, and we'll see how that, well, at the same hospital, I should say, not the same time. But I'm sure he's fine. I got hands this morning, so he's got Mom and his brother and everybody over there. It'll be a family affair. That's Thomas is going over to the hospital there. I want to comment about Brent's station there real quick. I just pulled you up on QRZ there, Brent, W1IA. Wow. What an amplifier, buddy. Shoot. I've got a big old one over here, too, but mine's not as big as yours. And mine was given to me last year, and I've not had no time to mess with it yet. I did go out and buy a B&W chloroform thing because it needed something bad. It was in bad shape as far as that goes. But it's got the power supply with it. It's running a 41000 tube in it. Whoever built it must have just took stuff out of the junk box. It's got two really nice vacuum caps in the thing, vacuum variable caps. Yeah, but the front of it looks like there's a hodgepodge of different parts, and the tuner, the knobs on the stuff, the crank, what am I trying to say? Whatever the knobs are, I can't think what they are. Just went blank. But they're just mismatched, and I like to do the digital meters. I've seen a guy on the AM group that had some digital amp meters and stuff like that. His looks really clean and sharp, and that's what I'd like to do. Number counter, there you go. Turns counter. Mine are just, they look like they came on the main power, to tell you the truth. And Perry, I don't know, do I turn it down to Henry? I don't really know who to turn it to. We had 3 or 4 of them jump in, or did I turn it back to Brent? Brent was right after me last time, so I'll let Brent go, and he can turn it down to Harry, you're sounding good. And call us Whiskey Charlie 4 Delta, WC4D. And we talked the other morning because I was telling you about how good I like the good crisp sound of your radio there. So W1IA, go ahead and pick it up. WC4D. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. And, yeah, I got something going on here. Hello. There we go. The microphone is acting up. Dirty pot. Hang on. There we go. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, well, cool on the 4x1. Yeah, Mark K2QFX helped me build that GS35B pair. Wow, come on. I've got dirty pots giving me trouble here. Yay. I'm not going to keep it. I'm not going to sit here and fight with audio problems. This is bizarre. Dirty pot. There we go. Boy, that's acting up. Anyway, I'm going to take a standby. Go ahead, Perry. Audio is breaking down on dirty pots on the symmetrics. W1IA.
Yeah, actually, it goes down to Henry. So here's the lineup, so you guys will know. It goes from me to Don, WC4D. Then we'll put Brent after Don, W1IA. W1IA. Then down to Henry, N4EDQ. Back up to Chris, AJ1G. Then back down to Gary, WD4NKA. Then it comes back up to me. So down to you, Henry. N4EDQ in the group, W3MMR.
Yeah, W3MMR in the group. Good morning again. Good morning, Gary, Don, Brent, and Chris. Boy, I tell you what, Don, you're just banging in. I think you're almost next door, but now I know where you are. You're so close to Kevin, because Kevin always bangs in. He's almost like in my back door. And Gary, you're sounding great. Sounding good. A little bit of QSB, but other than that, you're just banging in. I like the sound of the audio. It's just breaking right through. I'm hoping I'm on frequency. I might be a little bit off, I don't know, but I'm hoping I'm fairly decent. It's hard to tell with this rig where I'm at. I've got a little free counter that I put on this thing, and right now it's telling me that I'm on 85. So we'll see. Moving around when I'm modulating a little bit. Anyway, I am doing something totally crazy. I am looking at the 80M3L 80-meter beam. I woke up this morning thinking I should either build an 80-meter beam or buy one. And when I just saw the price, I almost fell off my chair. It's $11,039.95. I think they can keep it. It's by M2. Don't think I need an 80-meter beam that bad. But it would be quite a monster to put up there. All I'm using now is a TA53 mic from Mosley. It's a 5-band beam. And then I got the 40-meter add-on kit on it. And it works very well. But for some reason I've been intrigued on trying to put up an 80-meter one. Then I got to put up another tower. And I don't know whether I want to go through all that at the age of 71. You do crazy things, I guess, when you get older or whatever. Got enough land up here. I got 3 acres. But do I want to spend that money for playing? Then have to think about what are the kids going to do with it all. Probably take it down and take it to the scrapyard. Anyway, let me give it up there to Chris, and I guess Chris will pass it around. By the way, I was wondering if, let me see, I had a question. K4, he moved from Georgia. Man, his name just broke my head away. Yeah, I'll come to it. I'll think about it. Let me get up there to Chris. AJ1G, N4EDQ. I meant Charlie. That's the guy I'm thinking of. Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, N4EDQ and the group AJ1G. Chris up here in Stonington, Connecticut, where it's getting pretty cold. It's supposed to go down to 15 degrees this morning and not get very warm during the day. Came around and yeah, I was just looking at your web page there, Henry. Very nice shack up there under the eaves there upstairs. And the big beam antenna and the vertical antenna, very nice looking location up there in the mountains there north of Atlanta. Wonder how your weather is this morning there. And let's see, what else going on? Yeah, just thinking about what I have to do to get ready for going up to the VHF contest at Marconi Beach on the Cape tomorrow. I'm going to leave early tomorrow morning and come back Sunday night, hopefully. Should be a lot of fun. I'm going to bring, all my HF mobile gear up too, and try to work some 75-meter gears from the ocean right next, as close as I can to the beach there at the Marconi site, and that will be a lot of fun. I'll run up, make some coffee here myself. A good spot in the rotation, I guess, to do that. So down to you, Gary. WD4NKA down in Deltona, Florida, where it's probably a lot warmer than here. AJ1G.
Spectrum
WD4NKA in the group. W3MMR. Real good, Gar. Oh, you're still holding up quite well here. I got no problem copying you. You're starting to take some fades there, a little bit of QSB on your signal here as well, but nothing to worry about. And it's been great, Gary, hearing you as strong as you've been, 100% copyable the entire morning. I'm sure you're very, very happy about it, and you know what you're doing down there with that, with the 30L1. And after reading the link that you had posted and seeing the comments from some of the fellas there in the AM group, in the AM group there on Facebook, I see why. Now I see why you're doing what you do with it, and why the gentleman recommended you run the amplifier as such on AM and tune it as such for AM operation. Makes perfect sense now. You know, I'm still learning. I think we all are to a certain extent. You know, every amplifier is different. I haven't owned every amplifier, and you know, so I'm still learning here myself. You know, Gary, you mentioned the the sound of the 303, and Don, and saying how you had quite a few of them. You know, honest to Christ, I would put my 303 up to, as far as audio amplitude modulation audio quality goes, up with this WD4NKA receiver. As far as audio quality goes, I mean, it sounds that good. With you know, at 10K, you know, listening to 10KCs on 10KC here with the Anon compared to the 303, I mean, they sound very eerily similar. Now that's with the you know, the woofer, because I have on the Anon here, I have a 6-inch Yamaha subwoofer, really nice subwoofer, and a really nice set of bookshelf speakers here with the Anon. And you know, with the woofer and the NTS2 speaker that I rebuilt and restored with a brand new full range speaker in it. I think it's an 8-inch speaker. It just sounds phenomenal with the audio amplifier. I still want to try maybe picking off the detector right off the audio gain pot, but I haven't, you know, wanted to. Things have been working so good, I don't want to take it out of the cabinet and, you know, go through all that mess, you know, just for that, for potentially something that might not even sound that much better, you know. So I kind of just want to leave it alone. And I have an HQ140X up on the shelf there as well, on the other operating position that I picked up from a local here in my local club here that I'm a part of. And I got that for super cheap. I think I paid $100 for it. And it had, you know, the nice cigarette tar tarnish preservative on the front panel. I got it home, cleaned it all up, and the thing looks like brand new. And it works great too. I got some high volt caps. I'm going to replace the high voltage caps in it, and I just haven't got around to it. The bandwidth isn't quite as wide, you know, as the 303. So it doesn't have, you know, quite the top end that the 303 does, but it still sounds really good, you know, in its own right. It doesn't drift. The frequency dials are a little off. It needs a little bit of an alignment, but we're just going to leave it alone for now. And I usually use that on the mornings of the old military radio net. And the reason I actually got that, because my father has one, and he's had it for a long time, and I always remember looking at it and thinking how cool it looked. I always wanted one. So that's why I picked it up. And after hearing his, probably about a year ago, I just fell in love with it and wanted one. And last thing is, I want a Night Kit T150. It was my father's first AM transmitter, and he has one that he hasn't had on the air in a long time, but apparently it's a pretty famous T150 that sounds really good, externally modulated, and it sounds phenomenal apparently. And I haven't heard it yet, but I always wanted the T150 just for the, just because it was his first AM transmitter. So I'm gonna try to find one and get my hands on one. So anybody knows one? I know Art and N4EDQ runs one every morning. He has a couple down that way, but I'm looking for one that's in really good shape and doesn't need much work, and I'll spend the extra dime for one. And we're still about to match the receiver as well, but I don't need that. I just want the transmitter. Anyway, back down to you, Don. See how you're still copying me up here in Pennsylvania. Down to Kentucky, WC4D from W3MMR.
W3MMR, WC4D. Oh yeah, you're still pounding down here, Perry. I'll tell you what, I've got a 3 noise level this morning, which yesterday was 20 over, and I couldn't hardly copy anybody unless they were blasting. Yesterday morning we had a bit of a phenomenon go on here. The K0VUW there, Gary, over in I guess he's over in Wildwood, Missouri. And when he keyed up that thing and got on, he almost pegged my meter. I mean, he was like 6 feet over. He was so loud that I had the volume turned up yesterday trying to hear anybody. And I was running through, I have one of DHI DSP filters. I absolutely love this filter. And it works great on 75 because it takes all the white noise out of there. And one thing, I just hear you all. I don't hear any hissing or any other noise. Just the people themselves. It's a great speaker, but man, you pay a great price for it. It doesn't come cheap. But Gary yesterday was just incredibly loud. I mean, Kevin is meter, like Kevin can go 40 over, but Gary went to 60 over. He actually pegged the meter, but it dropped off really fast, and then he's like, 5 over 9, and after that, most of the rest of the conversation. But at one time, man, we like had a pipeline between the two of us. It was incredible. Well, I'm glad to hear that you like that 303 so much. That's kind of encouraging because I've wanted one for years and could have bought a couple of them, even with a matching speaker. There was a guy down by Atlanta, Georgia, and I was going to have my son. He works all over the country putting signs up for his company. They do a lot of the malls and stuff inside the malls, outside malls, and they put signs up, and he travels all over. And he was going to go to Florida, and he had to go right to Atlanta. So he has no problem with this. He's getting paid while he drives anyway. And he'll usually stop and I'll tell him, well, pick me this up or pick that up. He was up in Cape Cod, Massachusetts, and picked up an SX42 for me up there that was just outside Boston. And we did a road trip on the weekend when they were off and went and picked that up and met the guy and brought it back to me. So I've been pretty fortunate with his travels. Sometimes they align with things I want. He picked up my Globe King for me that I had. The guy met him in Chattanooga there and brought it over to Knoxville, and he got it from him. So he's had 3 or 4 radios he's drugged back to me. And now anymore, he said, well, I'm getting ready to go to Hot Springs, Arkansas. You got anything along the way I need to pick up? No, you're good. I don't have anything going to Hot Springs or nothing. But anyway, I tell you what, ever since Gary got that amp down there, what a difference. I can't believe it, man. It's he's one of the big boys now almost. He's up here at 20 over this morning, and Henry's just pounding in here. He's 20 over also. But it's just absolutely great not to have no noise yesterday. That power line noise was all day yesterday. Absolutely all day. I checked 3 or 4 times, and I thought I was going to have to make a call and find out, hey, you guys need to fix this, but it worked out fine, and I didn't have to do anything. So anyway, Gary's phased array, Brent's phased array up there. I watched Bob Heil talk about doing double bazookas and phase arrays. And I bought 2 of them. Of course, I don't know what I was thinking because I don't have enough room to put up 2 double bazookas up here. I live in a subdivision. I have a tower and stuff, and I have all horse farms behind me. I live in Lexington, Kentucky, and there's nothing but my property drops off down over a hill towards the back. So the top of my antenna looks like it's 96 feet up in the air to the east and northeast and stuff. I have a great path going that way, especially with the beams and stuff. And I wanted to put a 2-element array up there with the 2 double bazookas, and I tried to figure out every way I could do it, except for my power lines running in between my yard and where I could have done it, and there was no way I could put the arrays up. But watching Bob Howe do it, man, that thing looked like that was the cat's meow trying to run a phased array. So I'm envious of you because that's something I really wanted to do. And I know I don't think we'll ever move. I'm 66 years old and I don't picture us moving anywhere. We're having a new deck put on. We had new stairs put inside the house. I actually thought about having an elevator from upstairs to downstairs, and that would eliminate 90% of our problems because we want a ranch house. Our laundry and stuff is downstairs, so my wife, hobbling up and down steps carrying the laundry baskets back and forth. And I seriously thought about, if you just got a small single elevator, it wouldn't probably, I think I've seen them for about $10,000. And we could hardly move for $10,000. So that might be the better deal all the way around. And she done told me if I move, I'm not getting to take all my radio equipment with me, so I'm dragging my feet on that one. So I'll turn it over to you, Brent. Good morning, Gary. I didn't say good morning to you last time. Sorry about that. And everybody sounds really good into Lexington today. And we'll have prayers for Kevin, and hopefully he gets a speedy recovery. I'll be calling him this afternoon and aggravating him just to see what's going on. Oh, one more comment real quick. Perry, did you happen to look on AM modulation this morning and look at the guy had the Russian receiver, the Bologna K, 1950s, 60s was the Russian naval merchant marine receiver? That is one cool looking receiver. I just looked at it just a minute ago. I seen that you made a comment about my rock on for you. And I scrolled down a little bit up and when it refreshed it and seen that. That's pretty cool looking. So I'll turn it back over to you. W1IA, WC4D.
Kilowatt Zero, Victor, United, Whiskey. Good morning.
Yeah, I've got a bail. I keep threatening to leave. And Don, you have a great day. And the station that broke in can pick it up. But I got to go. Pleasure band is outstanding. And okay, by the way, on the double bazookas, yeah, I had to clear quite a bit of land for the 2-element array, but it's certainly worth it. It makes sitting back armchair coffee. So the other station that chimed in, good morning, I'm going to hit the road. W1IA, Brenton, New Hampshire. Go ahead.
Well, okay, I'm not sure where I'm supposed to turn it to. Here is Kilowatt Zero, Victor, United, Whiskey. The name here is Gary, Golf America Radio Yankee. And the QTH is Wildwood, Missouri. So everybody's coming in great here. We'll just get in line, find out who all's here. But a big good morning, everybody. It's cold here. Going down to like 3 above here. And about 9 o'clock, we're expecting pretty bad freezing rain, ice, and then snow, and so forth and so on. In fact, they already have closed a zillion schools last night because it's going to be so bad this morning. So, whoever gets it, here is Kilowatt Zero, Victor, United, Whiskey.
What's up, Gary? Good morning, Gary. K0VUW. Good to hear your voice this morning. We got a great bunch in here, Gary. Brent just left us, New Hampshire. And we got Perry. We got WD4NKA. We got W3MMR, WC4D, Don in Kentucky. Chris, AJ1G, up there. And I thought we had a K0, other than Gary bouncing before, but I might have misheard that one. I'm going to keep it short.
Sure. And give it over there to Chris. Got quite a group. Gary, hang in there. We'll have it back there to you. Nice to hear you. Hope you're doing well. AJ1G, N4EDQ. Take it away, Chris.
Okay, thank you, Henry. N4EDQ. N4EDQ and the nice group, AJ1G. I'm going to sign out on this one. People are starting to fade out, and going to go up and get some breakfast and get on with the task of the day. I'll listen around. Hopefully people will still be coming in. Brett, nice hearing you. Perry, good luck with hopefully future quiet there from the interference front. Hopefully your neighbor's smart enough to realize that if that thing shows up again, he will not be happy considering how things went. So, at any rate, good luck with all that. We'll catch you all later. And it goes down to Gary. 73, everybody have a great weekend. And for those who are interested, at 0830 Eastern, 3805 will be a vintage sideband that's convening, as it has for a couple of months now. There's a lot of nice people on there too. I'll have this Central Electronics and single sideband mode down there. Everyone have a great weekend. God bless. WD4NKA from Alpha Juliet 1 Golf.
WD4NKA from W3MMR. I'm going to make this my final. I got to get to work early this morning. I got to run down to my mother's house, pick up her car, and then bring it to work and do an oil change before we open. So I'm going to go to the shop early and open up a little bit early there and get that done. For her, she's got to be at work early herself, so it's the perks of being a manager. I can go whenever I want. So 738 Chris, 73 Brent. Real great signals from everyone here this morning, Gary. Good morning to you, Gary, out there in Wildwood, Mizzou. Sounding great here. Big signal, 20 over as always. Out this way. It's cold. A little chilly here this morning. Not as cold as it is where you're at, but it's 22 25 degrees here this morning. I think it's only going up to 32. So we might hit the freezing mark here, but then we're expecting some precipitation tomorrow. I don't know if it's going to be. I think it's going to be start out as snow, then turn to sleet, then turn to rain in the evening. So we might get some accumulation, but I think it's just going to be more so a damn mess and a pain in the butt. So we'll see what happens here with that. But anyway, I think that's all I wanted to comment on. Oh, yes, Don, I did see that receiver. I just looked it up. That's a cool-looking receiver, man, on the amplitude modulation group there on Facebook. That's a cool-looking receiver. I would love to have that, get my hands on something like that. I've never seen one before, and that's pretty interesting. All right, guys, so we'll say 73. Turn it down to you, Don. Don turns it to Gary in Missouri. Gary in Missouri turns it to Henry, N4EDQ. Henry turns it to Gary. I don't know if Gary, I think Gary just said he was signing. Gary down there in Florida, I'm not sure. So Henry, if Gary doesn't pick it up in Florida, it goes to you, back up to Don, since I'm signing. So 7-3, guys, been a fun morning as always, and we'll catch you guys on here tomorrow morning. Down to you, Don. WC4D in the group 7-3 from W3MMR.
W3MMR, WC4D. All right, 73 to you, Perry, this morning. And have a good day at work. I'm kind of glad in a way I don't have to run off to work anymore. But sometimes, you know, I don't want to do the job I used to do as a career, but as being a telephone man for 32 years, I don't miss that not one day, 1 second of it, especially in the winter as a contractor. So anyway, you have a great day, and we'll catch you tomorrow morning for sure. I don't know if that'll be the old military that'll be on tomorrow. It's Saturday, isn't it? So anyway, we'll catch you anyway when we do. Gary, you're sounding really good. I made a comment earlier that yesterday when I was having all my line noise and everything else over here, I said, Wildwood, Missouri, compound in here, you pegged the meter yesterday one time. When you first came on, that was so loud that I had to actually reach over and turn the volume down. And it was amazing. I mean, I've never seen nothing like it before. But it was just like we had a pipeline straight into my shack here. And it wasn't all too long there. You started to fade down, and you went down to about 5 over 9 then and stayed down that way. But at one time, for a brief 5 seconds or so, you were 60 over here into Lexington. So that was kind of bizarre. I'll tell you what, I'm going to have to get out here early today. I got to go to a doctor's appointment too, so I think I'm going to listen out for a little bit, but I'm going to make this my last one and say good morning to everybody. I'll turn it up to Gary up there, K0VUW, and you're really sounding good again this morning, but not quite 60 over like you were yesterday. So you all have a great day. 73 to the group. And we'll catch you later. WC4D over to K0VUW.